All right, everyone. Well, welcome back to Hoop to Holler with Dylan Walrus, aka the B Ball Study Hall. I am in my domicile on the Wi-Fi, so it should be nice and smooth sailing. How you
Never been
doing out there on
clear.
the Great Plains, my man?
Never been clear, Wally. Looking good with the Braun Nod tee. I told you I put on my California bear surfing out because
Appreciate that.
apparently today is the La La Land Exodus. That's something we didn't even talk
Oh,
pre talking. Here it is, Wally. Here I don't know if I can pull this up. That's a dude in a
shit,
Lakers shirt with a clip at a Clippers game.
Shaq.
Yeah, Lakers shirt at a Clippers game. And now, there was a day when Braun and Kawhi both were taking their talents to SoCal. There was posturing. Would they play together? Would they not? And now both are exiting La La Land. And frankly, maybe both franchises are happy about it in a sense, which,
Hmm.
interesting me. And one guy got a chip, right? One guy got a
That's
chip. So
correct.
how are you feeling, Laker man? Where's your headspace? Do you want to talk Lakers perspective first?
I think just like, from 30,000 feet, as, one could say, up until, I
You
don't know, a
should say
few days
whatever
ago.
Braun's total points was. What's he
Yeah,
at?
right. Yeah. Take it
43,000
to
feet?
43,000
Whatever it
feet,
is.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
something like that. Over 50,000 with the playoff points combined.
Wow.
Um, Up until a few days ago, I thought more likely than not he's going to be back with the Lakers, meaning LeBron. But when this talk of, him going and you and I and the shout out to the fellowship, we've been chopping about in terms of the Warriors might be in a landing spot. But then when this talk of the Warriors possibly bringing in AD, Anthony
Yeah.
Davis,
Yep.
then it's like, oh, okay, no, that sounds like that is more likely than him
Mhm.
coming back to Lakers. And of course, today the news breaks that he is now going to officially no longer be a Los Angeles Laker. I think for me, I think it's bittersweet. I am never going to cease being appreciative of LeBron. I respect him so very much for, frankly, just like the life that he has lived and continues to live. It's insane to me how much hate a guy gets who has done virtually nothing wrong in his life.
Yeah.
Yes,
And meanwhile, Steph gets none, and they in some ways they've kind of impacted the league pretty similarly.
the decision,
Yeah.
wasn't the best
Sure.
optics, for the people of Cleveland. Then I
He
saw
went back.
someone,
He went back. He might go back
he
again.
goes back, he
Yeah.
gets them their only championship across all the pro sports in the last 60, now 2
Yeah.
years, At the time, though, I guess it was what? It was because it was 60, 65. So what was it, 51 years since the original Cleveland Browns
Yeah.
won
Yeah.
the NFL championship pre-Super Bowl. But anyways, um, the decision, but then not four, not five, not six, not seven. When you got Wade and Bosch looking at him like, what are you
How old was
saying,
he
man?
then? Was he 20? Was he
Exactly.
24,
There's
25,
another point to
26?
be made.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's just like the guy built a public school, in his hometown. I believe it's in Akron. Certainly, there in north east, I believe Ohio is what we would say. Shout
Yeah.
out DJ. And just like guy's a family man, grew up with a single mom, like
Yeah.
so and
I don't think we have to be LeBron apologists to know, like, especially in this moment, you can
correct.
you can know what successful career he's
Correct.
had, and maybe as a human, I mean, we'll never know him personally, but like juxtapose that right now to John Morant going to Portland and think about where that guy's at in his career. I mean, that's a guy that was poised to be the next American superstar, right, or
Yeah,
U.S. born
not
superstar,
so much.
and then his trade value, is just decimated.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you give LeBron credit for the
Bittersweet.
sustainability, like yeah, bittersweet, but also like,
That's how I feel.
did it kind of work out as it would? Like what were the other options? He stays
Oh,
and
please.
yeah,
Just the whole backstory, and like particularly for people who claim to be Lakers fans, I'll take them at their word. Like they either were not alive, were not paying attention, or have had that memory zapped out of their mind for the 4 or 5 seasons before LeBron landed
yeah, it
in
was ugly,
LA.
dude. I remember. I mean, like this goes back, Wally. Kobe took the maximum contract with a torn Achilles.
Correct.
The piece I don't understand is like the Kobe fans that love him. Well, was about to say to the death. That's disrespectful, but
Yeah,
love
yeah,
him
yeah.
above all.
R.I.P.
And obviously it's all different after how he's passed. But like he did not help the franchise. Like
No,
that did not help the franchise at all. Like
no.
what like he was the dude who said I will always take maximum money no matter what. And then they
Yep.
missed. I mean, we've got they got some good role player picks, and you throw together Josh Hart and Zubats and Bi, and if Lonzo could have been healthy, like Julius Randle, like you go down the list,
Hmm.
like they're decent players, but there is no stud there. The stud
No.
was LeBron coming for what reason and for what like for agency, right? Like he made a choice and
Hmm.
he saved your franchise. You
Saved
got
it. I
AD.
mean,
You got you the bubble title. Without AD, you
come
don't
on.
get Luca. Like yeah, we've
Exactly.
been down this.
That's
Um,
exactly right. So yeah,
yeah,
bittersweet because I think what the guy did is exactly what you just said. He saved the franchise from what was looking like an endless spiral downward. Um, gets that championship. I will always contend it's as worthy as any others.
funny how
I've
people will say the opposite. I've heard your contention, and then I've heard people say it's the
oh yeah,
easiest.
sure. No, I think more
I
people find it to be the easiest, but
an
again,
improv
like
question. Well, they had more time between games. Maybe that helped. And AD was the best AD's been. Who would you rather have? If you can put yourself back to when LeBron was coming, were you more excited that LeBron was coming to the Lakers then, or where you sit currently with Luca?
that's a great
Yeah, I was
question.
just thinking about that
That's a great
because
question.
Luca's younger,
Yeah,
should be better, but unhealthy,
it would be
out
LeBron
of
coming to the
shape.
Lakers.
Yeah, I mean,
He's coming
yeah,
off of
at
8
that
straight
age, because
finals appearances,
how
you know,
how many years
got
in
2
LA was
down in
he?
Miami, 1 with Cleveland. Yeah, he was, still in. I mean, look at what the guy just did at 41 years old, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? He's in as much of a prime as anyone has ever
Yeah.
been. Um,
He immediately gutted your team and brought you traded all those dudes for AD, but it worked, right? It
yeah,
worked when Palinka surrounded him with size and defense and a little bit of shooting.
mhm,
It worked, but
without a
it's
doubt.
you kind of need to build your team similar to that again, right? Now you've got and I guess you've got AR and Luca, so it's a little bit different in that way.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's just interesting to think because what age
It's
was
very
LeBron when he came to
interesting.
LA? Was he 32, 30? How many years was he in LA? Is he
Let's see,
33?
the guy's born December '84, and
When did
that
he come to
was
LA?
2018.
So
So
it's
he
been
was
eight
like
years.
30, he was
He's
33.
42, right? So 30,
He's
34,
33.
33,
33
30.
going on
Yeah. So
34.
like I remember at that time thinking like he's kind of already old, right? Like he's probably got
Right.
two, maybe two, three, four, five decent seasons, like probably
Right.
three. Probably like he's gonna be in like it's been this long that he's
It's
still been
crazy.
productive. And again, less than 2 months ago, he was the best player in the playoffs for the
Correct.
Lakers. I mean
Correct.
like and
Correct.
Luca has so much potential, and I want to see it, but there's a lot of question marks, dude. There's a lot of question marks to answer.
There's no doubt about that. So yeah, so bittersweet. Bitter because, I think the guys had a great run here and got that championship. That's not nothing. People like to poo-poo it. Um, but the sweet comes into now the Lakers can turn the page. And let's really see what Luka Doncic can do in purple and gold, with Austin Reeves as his wingman.
Yep.
They have all this money now freed up. It's going to
Yeah,
be
50,
kind of
53
tricky.
million that they have to spend. Is that kind of like
They
they
don't
have to
have to
spend it this
spend it.
year? Well, I
They don't
think
have to spend all of it.
they don't have an option though. If they don't use it now, they don't get access to it. Is that correct? I think that's what and
That
Bobby
might
Marks
be,
And
yeah,
Bobby Marks had an interesting thing too, or to your point, he said like the problem is sometimes you overspend on somebody when you're in this predicament. But I think
right.
Tim McMahon said like he wanted LeBron to get out of there because this is the only chance the Lakers have to have access to this money. I
Yeah,
don't really understand those dynamics perfectly, but
it's
that's
complicated.
yeah, seemingly.
So
So yeah,
it's yeah. So they have this money now. It's with the way the NBA, it's a hard cap. It's a real hard cap, right? Like as the years go on now, and we see more examples of how difficult it is for players to move. It's
interestingly
gonna.
though, all the dudes that are moving right now, isn't it?
It
Like
is
like this is free agency doesn't start for an hour or two, and like think of all of the names that have moved
right.
already. So yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll see what they can do. I want to spend a little bit of time here, thinking about the LeBron, piece of this in
yeah,
terms of what's next for him, and then the Lakers. Um, yeah, so let's do that because we can come back to this. All right, so LeBron. All right, so he's not going to be on the Lakers,
that's the
right?
only thing we
But
know.
now there are 29 other teams that he could possibly be on. I think you and I agree. The Warriors seem to be the
Yeah,
clearest landing
yeah. I think
space for him.
there's two clear favorites right now, right?
Yeah, what are your thoughts on this? There's the
Yeah, what
Warriors. What
Dray
would be the other favorite?
Draymond opting out is indication that the Warrior. I mean, this is per Brian Windhorst. The Warriors know something. and that gives them flexibility. But
Hmm.
there's the caveat that it may or may not be tied to AD. At first, I think yesterday they said that. Then I saw that walking them back. I don't know why the Wizards do that trade for Butler, other than to get off of money. I don't really. Maybe they attach
Hmm.
some Warriors picks. I'm not sure about that. And
Yeah,
I frankly don't believe in AD, and will never believe in him until he's on the court healthy
I
for a
agree.
year.
Sadly,
So
I agree.
I kind of hope the Warriors don't get him. I'd love it if somehow they could go get Joker and throw him in there. I don't think that's a possibility, but I would love that. Steph Braun
You
Joker
have
would
a
be,
Ferrari
yeah.
hiding from the outside
I
as
mean,
well.
I don't know any like, yeah, that seems absurd, but like, uh,
Mm,
Kawhi's going back to Toronto today.
it's
Like,
true.
I mean, like absurd happens.
Yeah.
So I think the Warriors are probably tier A, and then he's literally in Cleveland right now as this is all happening, driving around to Akron, and there's indication that like how it is, dude. We're all nostalgic for things, and he has a special
Hmm.
tie there. Like if you're in your hometown or your home where you grew up, driving around, and be like, I'm a free agent for the first time. Cleveland's pretty decent. The East is weaker. Other than the Knicks just won, but like the
Hmm.
Spurs and OKC are formidable. We can both
Hmm.
attest to that. So those will be the top two. But my personal, if you're asking me where I want him, Wally,
Denver.
it's Denver or Minnesota because I
Yeah.
want to see those teams get better. And like he can still help. Like ironically, the Lakers could use his services, right?
Of course they could.
I mean
That's why
that.
it's bittersweet. Like it would have been nice to have him on the team this season.
Well,
It's going to be a big, big hole in
I mean,
their
we
plan,
don't need we don't need to dive too much into it, but why, if he was just not worried about the money, was he just did he feel that disrespected by the
dude.
Lakers? Like what?
I've
Like
yes.
because they don't want him, but they do want him. Like
Forget
it
about the
reminds me a little of the
forget
Giannis
about the
crap.
team.
What's
Forget
that?
about the team. Okay, forget about the Lakers franchise because yes, there are things to be said in terms of him being underappreciated about the Lakers, dude. The people out here are some of these people are genuinely insufferable. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
you and I love sports talk radio.
yeah,
That is how this beautiful friendship began.
yeah,
Okay, and I have spent my morning and the first hour of my afternoon here listening, calling in a couple times to the local station out here. Shout out ESPN LA 710, best in the business out here in LA, really are. And it's just the stupidity of some of these people in terms of the hatred they have for him. Have legitimate criticisms about LeBron James, okay? Like you could talk about his passive aggressiveness, you can talk about how he's had too much control in the front offices of the three teams that he's been on.
What would the Lakers have
For
done different though? Like that but I don't understand is like you got Luca on a midnight fleece. Like
right.
what better outcome would those fans have wanted? Like
These are people who are thinking that their brain is doing something, but it's not doing a lot of critical thinking.
okay.
The one thing that I do criticize LeBron for,
Sure.
okay, it is the Westbrook trade because
Yeah, yeah, okay.
he almost certainly was pushing for that with Anthony Davis, and then when it didn't work, tried to kind of, along with his agent, Rich Paul, kind of be like, well, we're not the ones, putting the offer on the table for the
Yeah.
guy. Um,
And that's
so aside from that, though, exactly like what were the Lakers going to be doing without LeBron James? I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now what they would have been doing is nothing
yeah,
because not
losing.
only were they not able to sign players, they couldn't even get people to take a meeting. LaMarcus
Yeah, that's
Aldridge.
right.
This
Yeah.
is not a name that most
Yeah.
NBA fans right now would
Spurs.
recognize.
Yeah,
You
Spurs
and I
instead.
can.
Yeah,
He went
Blazers.
to the Spurs,
Yep.
did okay down
Awesome with
there.
the
He was
Blazers. Yeah.
great up in Portland,
Yeah.
right? Your
Early
old
Dame.
stomping
I mean,
grounds.
Dame pushed him out, frankly.
So
Yeah.
it's just they couldn't even get a meeting with the guy. So yeah, no, just forget about those people. The people sipping on the haterade are always going to find something to hate. All right, let's stick
Interestingly,
with yes,
interestingly,
please.
when you were saying Westbrook and Rich Paul and that made me there have been little whispers like, is this Bay stuff just all a smokescreen for them all to get bigger contracts?
I
Like
saw that too.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw that
I
too.
mean, does Draymond get more years? Does AD? I mean, Street Clothes has got to be feeling a little weird. They give Trey Young this giant contract. Why? Doesn't
Right,
play like I can't say more than ever how much I think in the NBA we just saw it. If you want to win, you have to have defenders, dude. And
correct.
it's better to have, I'd say, like a B B plus offensive player and an A plus defender than the
Hmm.
other way around, or a C, like, and that's where your Lakers are going to be a little bit hurting. But that's why I think if Braun went to the Timberwolves, I don't love the LaMelo thing, but he'd bring some size
Interesting.
and some strength and like that. Like, I guess this is what it is, Wally. So he wants to be happy right now. What does happiness mean? Does happiness mean one more shot at a chip? Does happiness doing a farewell tour for the Cavs and jerseying up for a third time, which is wild,
Yeah.
but why not? Does happiness playing with your rival turned a respectable good friend in Steph Curry
Joker.
and enjoying
Yeah.
that? Yeah, Steph. Or does it
Yeah.
or does it mean playing with who LeBron has called the greatest basketball mind in Joker? Or does it mean playing with Wemby, the guy he's called an alien? Could he go to the
Oh,
Spurs? Like
can you imagine?
anything's on the table, or the
It
Knicks. Like
is.
why not go play in New York for a year?
So here's the
I
feeling I'm getting.
yeah.
I feel it's going to be the Warriors, and it's for a couple of reasons. Number one, I honestly do not think at this point. Obviously, the man wants to win. I think he's kind of
Well,
given up on.
if he wants to win, it shouldn't be the Warriors. Like
Of course not.
if he wants to win and have fun, maybe a little bit, and maybe you get them in the playoffs, and maybe
Yeah.
like crazier things have happened. I still believe in Steph if they're health. If there's so many
Yeah.
ifs, right? But
Oh,
like
I think that team. I think a team of Steph, LeBron, Dre, and as you like to call them, street clothes. But
or
if
Jimmy
Anthony Davis
Butler, I
may as
guess,
well over there.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Or
I,
Porzingis.
I think that LeBron is not obsessed at this point with the idea of having to win another
He
championship.
hasn't been for the last few years, frankly. Like
You know,
really, like if he was obsessed with that, wouldn't there have been
right?
some more instant like things
He
would
would
have
go where
happened
he could
faster?
absolutely win.
Yeah, yeah,
OKC,
yep,
now San
yep,
Antonio,
yep.
the Knicks, um,
And maybe
Denver.
maybe that's when you were talking about the decision earlier. He doesn't want this like pushback of ring chasing or whatever. Like I just feel like who cares? Like every great player has done this at the end of their career. Like every great player
Plenty
has
have, sure.
I mean, pretty much everybody has taken. Well, not everybody. I guess Kobe and Dirk and
A lot of
Duncan.
big names have done it. Wilt
Yeah,
Chamberlain,
yeah.
okay, and he won one in Philadelphia.
Malone, Gary Payton, Barkley, Clyde Drexler. Like all like
Kevin Durant's the biggest, if you will, offender,
yeah,
and he's an all-time great. So no, I think he's going to go to the Warriors because he's had this, this fascination in his mind from everything that I've read. People talk about playing with Steph. Finally got to do that in the Olympics. They
yeah. It's great.
clearly enjoy playing with each
It's
other,
awesome.
so he gets to do that. He is, good friends with Draymond Green, okay, and they are both, members of the same agency with Rich
Yep,
Paul Clutch. He gets to play for Coach Steve Kerr, who
yep,
he has played for in the Olympics. It's a 45-minute flight
yep,
from LA to San
yep,
Francisco. It's a beautiful area up there.
yeah.
And also,
Good
I
wine and
think
golf.
wine and golf,
Yeah.
and playing without the expectation of like, oh, if they don't win a championship, this is a failure. This is a la failure, as some people might say. If he went to OKC, if he went to the Spurs, if he went to Denver, if he went to the Knicks, if he went to one of those four teams, if that team doesn't win a championship, I guarantee you there would be people out there saying, "Well, you brought
And it,
LeBron in, you brought the old guy in,
yeah.
right?" So I
And
think
then
it's going to be the Warriors. I
and,
really do.
I mean, you're probably right, and I guess the pushback would be like, who cares what other people think at this point?
He cares.
And that's the part that I
That's
guess.
why he's not here anymore, dude. I didn't get to that. Actually, I
No,
did.
I
He's
think
not here anymore because of all these idiots out on these LA
I
streets not giving him respect and
I mean,
appreciation.
for sure that could
I
be
really believe that.
that could be a component, but I think
Believe it.
the bigger piece would be he goes to the Bay because he wants to play with Steph. That's what.
Oh, sure.
So
That's
that
the big part of it.
versus talking heads, and this is I guess what I'm saying is like, uh, why doesn't he want to win one more championship?
Well, I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm
No,
just
no,
saying I don't
look,
think that's right
I'm,
now the
and
top priority.
I'm not. You didn't say he didn't, but I guess what I'm asking is put yourself in his shoes. Be 42, and this career where you're constantly compared to Jordan, and you're an all-time scorer. You have all these. You have the longevity card to outlast everybody. Why don't you want to win one more championship?
Hmm.
I'm asking you. Like, why wouldn't you want to?
Oh, look, if you're putting me in the shoes of LeBron James right now,
Yeah, where are you going?
I'm going to the
OKC?
Riverwalk.
Yeah, you're on the
Oh
Spurs.
no. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
I think about who paired up with a young Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in Milwaukee.
Yeah, yeah,
Big O. Can you
yep,
imagine LeBron with Wemby
yeah.
setting? I mean, they got a nice lob game with him
And
and Castle,
they just
Harper, but
re-signed Harrison
LeBron and
Barnes.
Wemby,
Yeah, they just re-signed Harrison Barnes, which I didn't understand that move.
yeah.
The Spurs have made no. Julian Champagne, they give him a longer
LeBron
contract.
can go
Smart.
anywhere he wants to because he apparently is going to perhaps be willing to take the vet minimum.
Yeah, so that's I guess that's what
He
I'm
can go
saying is
anywhere.
like, like we can never put ourselves in our shoes, but like,
Yeah.
why would you not think Spurs, OKC, Knicks, maybe Denver, maybe Minnesota?
Because it won't be as fun as playing with Steph and Draymond in
Yeah.
Golden State.
Okay. Perhaps I'm with you on Steph, but let's play this out. How many games do those guys actually play together
Well,
healthy?
sure.
I mean, so is it going
I
to be
don't think he
fun?
cares at this point. I
Well,
really
just
don't. And
just play it
I
out.
want to get to what I genuinely care about over
Let
here,
me
right?
finish
Which
my
is
last
Lakers.
thought.
But finish the thought, please.
The thought is like, come January or February or March, the doldrums, and you're getting set for the
Yeah.
playoffs. Wouldn't it be pretty fun to be on a contending team with an actual legit shot where you had to
Sure.
do less carrying all season and get yourself healthy for one more playoff run? So like until he makes his decision, we won't know. Even Cleveland is gives you an opportunity. Miami, Giannis and Bam, like he can literally fit in anywhere he wants to go if he's going to take no
Of
money.
course.
So it is like a pretty intriguing situation. Jordan played for the Wizards because he was an owner, right? Is that why he was playing for the Wizards?
Yep.
So Braun doesn't have any ties to anywhere. I think he left the Lakers not because of the talking noises, because like Luca isn't fun to play with, dude. That's why I think he left.
Yeah.
And Luca
I don't
and
know.
Luca and Luca wasn't reliable in the playoffs when he needed
Mm-hmm.
it.
Well, yeah, I mean, he wasn't healthy, but yeah, it's gonna be very interesting.